Whenever you say to a guy, are you a 4-point or a 5-point Calvinist? You don't say this because the last point, the P of TULIP, he might not believe. The 5th point. Now, it's the L. All the others, total depravity, unconditional election, irresistible grace, perseverance of the saints. The T, the U, the I, and the P, there is no question of, because they are rooted in biblical data. The L is not. It is rooted in reason. If man is told, if the Father chooses, if the Spirit calls his elect, then it stands to reason that the Son, in keeping with the Trinity, would only die for the elect. This is called limited atonement. This is the L, and this is the hot spot. When I was at Dallas Seminary, there was a guy that held the limited atonement. Dallas Seminary doesn't. Holds to an unlimited atonement. And he went and put letters in every mailbox of every student at Dallas Seminary trying to start a limited atonement revolution. And he's buried out behind the academic building. But it's a rational point that Christ only died for the elect. The problem is there's no verse that says that. If there can be one that says, my brethren, thinkest thou Jesus died for the world? Thou thinkest errantly. He died only for the elect of God. If you find that verse, then you got to believe it. But what you find is, he gave himself a ransom for all. The grace of God hath appeared, bringing salvation to all men. God hath caused the iniquity of us all to fall on him. God hath commanded men everywhere to repent. The promise is for you and your children, and as many as are far off, as many as God shall call to himself. You and your children, many who are far off. The angel said, I bring good news of great joy for all the people. I always go with the biblical point that I don't have to apologize for. And if I hold to limited atonement, I'm constantly having to apologize that I don't interpret the very clear reading of the Scripture. Calvin didn't believe in limited atonement. I know because I read his Institutes looking for it, and I couldn't find it. The finest church historian I know, John Hanna, I said, and I was over in Geneva when I asked him, did Calvin hold to limited atonement? He said no. His followers did. Because it is rationally easier to deal with. He said John Calvin, because Augustine did hold to limited atonement. And John Calvin would not commit either way. He said there's just not enough information. And really it's a moot point, because the guy that holds the limited atonement, he's still going to say to people, Christ died for you perhaps, because he may love you. I don't know. You may be a vessel of wrath, arrivederci, and God bless. Now, you're still going to preach like an unlimited guy. And so it's a moot point. I have been in this church 38 years, and I have never preached a message on limited atonement or unlimited atonement. We kind of leave it up to our official position, like Dallas Seminary. I am unlimited. I tried to be limited, and I couldn't. If I have to stand on reason or on Bible, I'm going with Bible. And I couldn't stand on limited atonement. It would seem rational that he would only die for the elect, but I don't see the call of God going out merely to a few. I think that the intent of the atonement was limited. But I don't know if you could have a partial wrath of God laid upon him for sin. I'm not sure it's metaphysically possible. So I am unlimited. And if there's guys that are limited out there. If I went to a limited church, I would not make a point of it. And we ask guys, they say, I'm limited. I say, well, you be a closet limited guy. See? Because if you start causing trouble, that's not a point of decision. That's when we got to put you down, like, oh yeah. All right. So, we are 4 points. Total depravity, unconditional election. We hold that Christ died like Adam's sin affected all. Christ's atonement goes out to all. That is the well, the thimble of grace that goes to those who are chosen. It will be efficacious to all. It will be provisional for all. It will be effective to those who believe, to the elect.